Planning. Nigel Short versus Jan Timman, Tilburg, 1991. White to move. It's clear that White is in complete control of this position. He owns the d-file, thus turning Black's rooks into passive spectators, and his queen is firmly settled in comfortably on one of Black's weakened kingside squares, f6. On the other hand, Black can hardly make a move, which means that White doesn't have to fear any incoming fire. If you were to agonize over a plan without consulting the imbalances, you might become frustrated. However, if you merely asked, "I own the kingside dark squares, what other pieces can penetrate on them?" then you would be faced with a limited amount of options. First, knight g5 is the obvious candidate. It leaps to a dark square and threatens to chop on f7. Unfortunately, queen takes g2 check would put a damper on White's celebrations. Rook f4 takes up residence on f4 and intends to follow up with rook takes f7, but queen takes d7 would be embarrassing. And this leaves only one other white piece that can drive down the dark square highway, White's king. But now we suddenly run into our beginner training / conditioning, which tells us to keep the king at home until an endgame is reached. And it's this very fact that makes this game so charming. King f4, exclam. This move shocks many players, but if you had a bishop on d2, would you not hesitate to play bishop h6, which forces mate? Of course not. Then, if it's safe, why not use the king in the same way? Bishop c8, king g5. Black resigns, 1-0. The threat of king h6, followed by mate on g7, ends the game. For example, queen h7. Queen takes g6 check. Or rook takes f7 check and mate this way. Both work. This one's cooler, of course. Queen h6 check, king g8, king f6. And mate follows White's total domination of the kingside dark squares. Philosophy. Imbalances are the doorway to planning. So what was Short, who played White? Was Short's play a plan or an illustration of the power of imbalanced consciousness? Call it anything you like, but pay attention to the thing that allowed you to find the solution, the imbalances.